local television network, TSPN. And now back to today's Seniors Living Well with your host, Laurie Webb.
Hi everyone, welcome back to today's Seniors Living Well. This is our 6th series and the theme has been Aging Doesn't Have to Be a Puzzle. And one of my favorite segments is this 3rd segment where I get to talk to a senior who has figured out the puzzle of aging and stayed active and involved in the community. And I don't really have to introduce this gentleman because we've had him on many times before, but it's my pleasure to have Bob Barfoot here. Bob, thank you for coming in.
Well, I'm happy to be here, and none of us can do anything about our aging, but we should do a lot about how we age.
Yes,
and
good philosophy.
My wife just died 3 years ago.
Has she been gone that long?
Yeah, and she was 97. And we were asked many times, how does that work when a woman's 12 years older than what she was to me? And we used to tell them we didn't know if it was going to work. We were only together 61 years. Age is unimportant. It's what you're doing with it that counts.
Right.
And we were always very active in a lot of charitable things and whatever. And my main thing now, I can't get out and do a lot of stuff because I've had a stroke, I've had a bout with cancer, and I've had a heart attack. But you got to be positive and don't give up. I keep telling this, don't give up, don't give up. Now tomorrow I'll be going at our hospital here. We have an excellent stroke support group. And our meetings are the first Thursday of every month. That'll be tomorrow.
And that'll be tomorrow, May 1st.
Yes,
wow.
And it's in the hospital, the outpatient section. And that does so much good for people that will come in, and sometimes it's hard for them to talk until they've been in our group for a little while. Finds out everybody talks about their problems. And then somebody over here can say, oh, I had the same thing. You know, we go back and forth.
Right, you're good support for each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of the month sometime, every month we go out someplace for lunch.
The stroke support group gets together and goes
someplace. That's a social thing. You meet a lot of people as friends. And the thing that I'm by myself, I live by myself. I don't ever go out at night. I don't drive at night anymore. But I go out every morning, every day, and have breakfast. And I meet so many people that I have become friends with that I didn't know before. And you've got to find a reason to get out of the house.
Well, it seems to be you really have found a lot of reasons to get out of the house.
Yes, and I love it. And
that's great.
But it's I don't. As I say, I don't go out at nights. I do all my cooking at home, and I haven't found any pre-cooked meals yet that I really like.
Well, you're probably healthier for that.
There's nothing. Well, you know, I've been the same weight for way over 50 years, and the reason, I was the youngest of 7 raised in Wyoming, and one thing that we were told by my mother, eat slowly and chew your food. The slower you eat, the less you eat. Because you're not going to overeat.
Right, and the more you taste it.
I still do that, and so anyway, I feel lucky I can still get out and do these things. So,
Bob, now you're involved, you're still singing a bunch of places. You showed me that great certificate.
5 times a month.
5 times a month.
All the assisted living homes, and then Kit Carson is the 4th Friday of every month. I do their birthdays.
And you were showing me before we were on air this certificate of, you've been singing at Kit Carson for
30 plus years.
30 plus years.
That's what it says on 30 plus years.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And I know people at Oak Manor often come and ask me, when is Bob coming? And I have to say,
Amador Residential, and I start with Amador Residential the first Wednesday of the month. The second month is Oak Manor. Then that Friday I do the Alzheimer's Hospital. Oh, by the way, when I started this brain research, through our stroke support group. The lady that came up and presented this UC Davis Alzheimer's doing this live brain research.
Right, and you've been a part of that for a while.
Since they started. And there was 5 of us to start. There's only 2 of us left. And they make our appointments down UC Davis and say, be ready. They'll have a car and driver in our driveway. They pick us up and bring us home. I've been to UC Berkeley, to Nuclear Lab. That was a rough one.
Didn't you tell us that story when you were on the show last year, I think?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's an 11-hour day.
Yeah, it was a long thing. Now, you're in this study not because you have Alzheimer's.
No.
But because they're studying the relationship.
Live brains. And I've told them more than once, if you find out I don't have a brain, send me to Washington.
You used to go to Washington, didn't you?
Yes, I've been there. I was a California delegate for small business.
Right,
Went
for
back in
small business.
1986.
Yeah, I remember.
Then
when you were doing
1988, my wife and I both went back for President Reagan's final big dinner.
that.
That was a real experience, but
So,
we're lucky that
yeah.
we were able to do these things, and we started out with nothing, but we learned a good trade, and after World War II, I had a chance to go to law school when I got out of the service, and somebody said, you know, these people are going to college to learn how to make money. Somebody has to learn how to take it away from them. You've always used your hands. You know, we're all adapted for something. And I took that advice and learned to be a furniture poster, and that's where I met my wife. But we ended up in San Francisco at W&J Sloan's, the oldest furniture company. And we learned how to make new custom furniture. And in 1958, we went in our own business and down the peninsula in San Mateo. And we never regretted that because we had ended up with over 40 interior decorators doing beautiful work.
oh my goodness.
And not a big shop, just a small custom.
Custom.
Only the real good stuff. And we did a lot of antique restorations. And we always have a reason to get up in the morning, and we love to go to work. And so many young people are not learning things that they like.
Right.
And
They're just doing something for money.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't regret the money we made either because we did very
you guys
well.
did very well.
But we did it smartly. We didn't blow it all. We saved it and or spend invest it in these things, and so we were lucky.
And when did you and Helen come up here to?
Well,
Amador?
our first trip up here was 1951 because I had an aunt and uncle who lived in Ione. And then we started coming up here in the 60s. Found the good food and a good wine, and that kind of got us looking into everything. We were going to go to Carmel or down that area because I did quite a bit of work down in that area.
Sure, custom furniture for that area.
And the golf courses, we were there through all those things. But that wasn't our kind of living, and because I was raised in the country, and this is what we wanted.
Amador is better. And you
And
had
then we met you.
well, yeah, that was.
And we bought the old Miller's Motel,
Right, you had the Country Squire,
and we changed it to the name of Country Squire.
and that's how you became the singing Country Squire.
Well, my business down in the Bay Area was the Country Squire Fine Furniture.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's how it got named that. I see.
And we did some beautiful work. We've had Furniture and Architecture Digest, Sunset Magazine, House and Garden, and I still have pictures of some things that we've done. And I don't ever go out at night. I've been invited to could you come certain places at night, but nighttime wasn't our thing.
Yeah. But you and Helen showed up like at all of our dinners at the senior center.
Yeah, fundraisers. We did a lot of
Fred
fundraising.
would always say, "Did you contact Bob?"
Wasn't he great?
Fred. Oh, he was amazing, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was another one of those people that he thought it was better to wear out than rust out.
Yeah, well, you know, that's the way I feel because 2 people got me into the Historical Society, Fred and Babe Garbarini.
Oh, babe, yeah.
I have breakfast just about every morning with Babe's son, Don.
Uh-huh.
And I tell him stories he never heard, because Baby sat down next to him, and he'd always make you smile.
Yeah, I know his daughter, Jan
Yeah,
Harris,
awesome.
really well. She was my first woman friend up here.
Yeah, was she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And her mom and Marie Gabrini and my mom's birthday were the same day.
Oh, day.
Yeah.
Well, I was telling Don when Marie was in the hospital dying, they told me about I went out and sang Amazing Grace and held her hand. And so I've done that more than once. I used to call it room service.
Room service.
And somebody had somebody that couldn't come out. And so, you know, we're the ones of us that can do things, again, are so lucky that we can still do it, and you have to keep it up.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people that have had as many medical and physical challenges as you have had, Bob, would have said, I'm done.
No,
Just somebody take care of me.
No,
But
you got to have a positive. I say this, I'll be saying it today or tomorrow, don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. Because somebody can always give you a better idea or do something else. That's now, like this next month coming up, I'm going to do Patsy Cline, Dean Martin, and Nat King Cole songs.
Oh, wow.
And they said, who do you sound like? And I said, I sound like me. I can't, nobody can sound like her. You don't want to. You want to sound like yourself.
Yeah.
And I usually do 20 songs at least at a time.
Bob, how do you still have a voice?
Well, it's like an athlete. The more you do, the better your voice can get.
Well, you've certainly
don't-
been demonstrated that.
What I did is I bought some equipment that since I can't play guitar anymore because the cancer was in this hand and it doesn't work, I bought background music. And then I got a piece of equipment that I can change the key to fit my voice.
Perfect.
Now, if you don't sing in the right key, that's when you're going to have trouble.
But you don't have any trouble. Thank you for being here with us today.
You're
Really
welcome.
enjoyed talking to you again.
You're welcome.
Stay tuned, folks. We're going to go to a break and then come back and talk about the Commission on Aging. And if you don't know what that is, stay tuned.
You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN.